Automatic water irrigation system for crops or plants. Water is becoming a precious resource. Municipalities use thousands of cubic meters of water to maintain the agricultural crops in their city. I decided to make automatic water irrigation system for crops that has the objective of to meet the plant needs for water every time the moisture of the soil is dry, to lessen human effort on watering each of the plant, and to water them at the exact amount the plant can hold. Abstract. The automatic water irrigation system is composed of water pump, 3 normally closed valve, and 3 timers, 3 sprinklers on each part, and 3 moisture sensors. Moisture sensors are designated on the field. Sensor 1 for the upper part, Sensor 2 for the middle part, Sensor 3 for the lower part. The volumetric water content of the soil are different than other part of the land according to the moisture of the soil on each part. It is measured by moisture sensor. It detects the dielectric constant on the soil. The dielectric constant increases when the volumetric water content increases. The sensors are triggered when the dielectric constant is below the threshold established by the user. When the sensors are triggered, the program will continue. Good morning, this is my automatic water irrigation system for crops or plants. This is my ladder diagram and my circuit diagram. When start button is pushed, R1 will be activated. When it is activated, R1 will turn on the motor pump to fill the tank with water. It will supply water to valve 1, valve 2, and valve 3. The valves are normally closed at first. I use 3 sensors on different part of the land. Sensor 1 on upper part of the land, Sensor 2 on middle part of the land, and Sensor 3 on lower part of the land. These sensors are moisture sensors. They are designed to measure the water content level based on the electric constant of the soil. The electric constant of the soil increases as the water content of the soil increases. These sensors can be triggered when the water content of the soil is below the threshold that the controller published. For example, Sensor 1 detects that the electric constant or the water level content of the soil is below the threshold published. It will be activated and will activate R2. When R2 is activated, it will open valve 1 to supply water on the sprinklers located in the upper part of the land. At the same time, when Sensor 1 is activated, Timer 1 will start to count down for 30 seconds. When 30 seconds is consumed, Timer 1 will shut off valve 1. And for Sensor 2, it works like for the same process. When Sensor 2 detects that the moisture level of the soil is below the threshold, it will be triggered and R3 will be activated. When it is activated, it will open valve 2 to supply water in the sprinklers at the middle part of the land. At the same time, Sensor 2 will activate Timer 2 for 30 seconds, and after 30 seconds is consumed, it will shut off valve 2 to cut off the water supply. And Sensor 3, when it is triggered, it will activate R4, and R4 will open valve 3 to supply water on lower part of the land. And at the same time, S3 will activate Timer 3, and after 30 seconds is consumed, it will shut off valve 3 to cut the water supply. And Timer 1, Timer 2, and Timer 3. Any of this timer can power up or activate R5. When it is activated, R5 will then again activate R1 to fill up the tank. That's how my automatic water irrigation system for crops works. Thank you. Good morning, this is the example of how my automatic water irrigation for crops works. When we push the start button, R1 will be activated, and R1 will turn on the motor pump to fill up the tank with water. After the tank has been filled up, it will supply water to R1 or valve 1, valve 2, and valve 3. Valves are normally closed. And this is sensor 1 located at the upper part of the land, sensor 2 at the middle part, and sensor 3 at the lower part of the land. These moisture sensors are triggered when the water content of the soil is below the threshold that the user have been recorded or established. For example, if the moisture sensor sense that the water content in the upper part of the land is below the threshold, it will be triggered. When it is triggered, R2 will be activated. At the same time, timer 1 will start. And when R2 is activated, it will open valve 1 that will supply water to the sprinklers in the upper part of the land. And timer 1 will start to count down for 30 seconds. After 30 seconds, valve 1 will be shut off. And for example, number 2, sensor 2 detects that the water content on the middle part of the land is below the threshold. It will be triggered. The same process goes like the process in sensor 1. When sensor 2 is activated, R3 will be activated. And R3 will activate or will open valve 2 at the middle to supply water on the middle part of the land for the sprinklers to be turned on. After 30 seconds, the valve 2 will be shut off. As like sensor 3, R4 will activate or will open valve 3, and timer 3 will turn off or shut off valve 3. When this timer is activated, we'll activate R5. R5 will activate R1 once again. That's how my project works. My project can run simultaneously. Sensor 1 detects that the moisture level or the water content in the part land is below the threshold. Sensor 2 below the threshold. Sensor 3 below the threshold. The sensors can be triggered at the same time. Thank you. That's how my project works.